Hello everyone and welcome back to mathMinutes. In this video, we're going to dive into a powerful technique for solving quadratic equations known as completing the square. It's a method that can help us find the roots of any quadratic equation. So let's get started. Completing the square is a process where a quadratic expression ax squared plus bx plus c is written in the form a times x plus p squared plus q. This is known as the completed square form and can be used to solve a quadratic equation. To demonstrate the completing the square method, let's consider a quadratic equation and make sure it's in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Our goal is to rewrite it in a different form that allows us to easily solve for x. We make sure the coefficient of x squared is 1. If it's not, divide the entire equation by that coefficient to make it so. In this example, we divide the equation by 2. This gives us x squared plus 4x minus 2 equals 0. Next, we move the constant term to the other side of the equation, effectively isolating the x squared and x terms. We take half of the coefficient of the x term and square it. This gives us a value which we will add to both sides of the equation. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 6. We can now factor the perfect square on the left side of the equation. X plus 2 squared equals 6. We take the square root of both sides of the equation. Remember, if we have the square root of a negative number, it means that the equation has no real solutions. Now, finally, we solve for x by isolating it on one side of the equation. This gives us x equals minus 2 plus square root of 6, and x equals minus 2 minus square root of 6. And there you have it. By completing the square, we've solved the quadratic equation. Unless the question states otherwise, leave the surd in to give an exact answer. Completing the square is a valuable technique for solving quadratic equations, especially when factorizing or using the quadratic formula becomes challenging. So let's look through the steps that we have taken. Step 1. Start with a quadratic equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Step 2. Ensure the coefficient a is equal to 1. If it's not, divide the entire equation by a to make it equal to 1. Step 3. Move the constant term to the other side of the equation, creating a space on the right side. Step 4. Take half of the coefficient of the x term and square it. Add this value to both sides of the equation. Step 5. Factor the perfect square on the left side of the equation. This leaves the equation in the form x plus p squared equals q. Step 6. Take the square root of both sides of the equation. And finally, step 7. Solve for x and find the roots. That wraps up today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.